go ahead and take it to a much smaller story than we usually cover on here. But these are stories I very much enjoy. I mean, not for what is actually in the story, but the size of the story. I think there's no story too small, I like to say. And this was very interesting. And Bob, this is in your neck of the woods right here. I don't know if you heard about this, but there have been some posts online talking about Oogie Boogie Bash and specifically the candy and snacks featured at this year's After Hours event. You can see right here, this from Bell. I got these at this year's Oogie Boogie Bash. Are they using last year's supply? LOL. So this is absolutely wild to me. We had some people chiming in. Theme Park IQ. I've seen a few people post this now. Check your Oogie Boogie Bash candy and snacks. Come on, Disney. Giving kids expired snacks.
I went to Oogie Boogie last week and I haven't checked any of that stuff. Hold on. I got to look. One sec.
Oh, he's got the goods, folks. He's got the goods. He's going to check right now.
Digging deep in his trick-or-treat bag, huh?
I guess so.
On the other hand, and this is taking nothing away from the wonderful world of goldfish. Those things last forever. They last forever. Come on.
Isn't this wild? Isn't this crazy? What do you got?
This one's until October of this year.
Okay, well,
let's see. That's better. Here, this one, 11/17 of, I can't tell if that's 2024 or 2025, but it's 11/17, so we're November. That's better. Hold on, I've got quite a few of these, so let me just check.
Oh, yeah, please.
Here we go. 11/17/2024. So these are 2024s, it looks like, but they're October and November, so they're still good. But they could be from last year. Who knows? I mean,
they could be from last year. Well, this is quite exciting. And Marty Snyder coming in on the chat right here. I'm going to Oogie Boogie Bash this Sunday. Maybe check it. By the way, I got to get you the link there, Marty. If you wanna stop on in, ain't no problem right there. I didn't know if you would be available. So there you go.
Think about it though. I mean, and I hate to speculate here, but if the company, that has Goldfish that makes the snacks is sending this out to Disney, maybe it's like, hey, we'll give you all this. And it's like stuff that's going to expire soon. I don't know. Maybe.
That may be a regular relationship they have with Pepperidge Farm, whoever.
Yeah,
say, hey, all summer long, save up the ones that are getting close because we'll take them.
Well, and so they usually have a partnership with suppliers and so forth, and big companies that provide these candies and treats and so forth. So that's why they're able to provide as many as they do. And go ahead.
No, all I was going to say was, unlike with, say, a local mom and pop bodega or whatever we're calling them in Southern California, or with a store where they sell these all year long, Disney doesn't really sell little packaged prepared candy bars and cookies and things this way very much.
No.
So you makes you wonder whether they save up the surplus or the returns or whatever and dump them on Disney once a year. So
that is interesting. That's an interesting idea. I'll say this. So Oogie Boogie Bash has usually been pretty generous. Has this been your experience as well, Bob? They've been pretty generous in terms of like giving out candy and how much they actually give out. And this event is pretty expensive. I think the starting price at this year's Oogie Boogie Bash, which are, by the way, all sold out, I believe are $134 per person, and it maxes out at $189 this year. So a pretty expensive event to be giving out some stale candy. Bob, your take on this?
So that's the thing is I spent $154 because I went on September 12th and I'm going again on October 24th, which is $179. I bought 3 tickets for that night because it's me, my daughter, my wife. It's expensive. Now, I will say you get your fill of candy. If you go back to my live stream from last Thursday, you can see as you're walking through the line, being like, Ernesto de la Cruz, any of the villains, you go through probably about anywhere from, I'd say, 4 to 6 different candy stations. And it's awesome because they usually hand you, I'd say anywhere from 2 to 4 pieces of candy each time. When it comes to those crackers that we were just showing you, they only give you usually 1 at a time, sometimes 2. Sometimes they have carrots as well. They have some healthy stuff. They used to
carrots.
Carrots, yes, they do baby carrots.
They got carrots.
Mm-hmm. They used to do apples. I didn't see any apples. I saw apples last year. I didn't see any apples this year. They tried to do a little healthy little candy and whatnot. I enjoy it. I kid you not, I came home with a backpack full of candy. I think I weighed it and it was over 5 pounds. So you do get your candy's worth, even though the tickets are very, very expensive. And I will say the villains are very, very cool. I think it's a little pricey for the event. They've added some more dates an extra week now, and they've obviously raised the prices a little too high, I think. But it is fun. Oh, and there's Dr. Doof.
Well, you won't know if it's too high until next year if they do less, because it didn't sell and it now has. So the question will be, if people like yourself who love it and go more than once with a couple of friends or family members and don't eat any of the candy and save it all up at home, your actual Halloween is paid for free by Disney.
True. I will say we had plenty of candy left over. Well, because I went last year and I streamed. So the reason why I bought 2 days is I stream once for my channel, which I did on September 12th. And then typically my daughter's birthday is the end of October. So I always buy a ticket for me, my daughter, and my wife. And we go and we have a good time. She's getting a little bit older now, so who knows, she'll still want to go in the next couple of years. But regardless, that's usually what I do. And we have so much candy, especially when the three of us go. We have tons of candy, and we don't have a lot of trick-or-treaters around my neighborhood, unfortunately. So we end up passing some out to family members. We're like, who wants some candy? Because we have so much stuff. But I will say, I keep the snacks. Like, the reason why I keep this bag is because we get so much stuff. I can give it to my daughter for school, take the crackers and other snacks. They have graham cracker cookies, too.
It occurs to me that you could get blamed for Disney putting out the expired stuff, because when you got it, it was good. But by the time you handed it out on the 31st, it had gone bad.
To be honest with you, I haven't even given this out to my daughter yet. So thank goodness I haven't. But checking it now, the dates are still
of course,
good.
Wait. I haven't, for whatever reason, there's been no trick-or-treaters where we are. And I don't eat a lot of candy. And so I haven't checked. It could very well be that those big bags in the supermarket that have 4,000 little candy bars, that those are all getting close to expiration time too. And that the candy companies themselves are doing the same trick as far as eliminating unsold inventory by way of Halloween. I don't know.
They could. I like what Marty said there. He said Oogie Boogie is the only time I actually rent a locker with a backpack in it, and I make multiple runs. So typically what I do is I keep my backpack, my streaming backpack with me, and then as I fill up that little bag they give you for the event, I just keep throwing into my backpack until both sections are full. However, when I go with my wife, my daughter, we actually take I'll take one of those reusable bags, and it's really big. And so we'll fill up the backpack. When that gets filled up, we start carrying that bag around, and then that's usually filled. So we come away with probably about, I kid you not, it's probably about 13 to 15 pounds of candy when the three of us go. It's crazy.
God.
You can get your fill. I mean, and especially if you have a big party and stuff. I mean, you can get a bunch of candy walking out of there, which I always found pretty nice, given the price of the event. And Disney always skimps on all kinds of stuff, but on the candy given out, or at least Oogie Boogie Bash, they usually do pretty well. But expired candy, I cannot believe it. Can't believe it. But I guess no surprise. By the way, Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Oh boy, maybe not a face character. Maybe that's not one you do. I understand why they did that, but
it looks like the Pinheads meet Marvin the Martian from Warner Brothers in that layout. So those are much more Warner Brothers style future gizmos than they are Disney to my eye. But what do I?
Now, I will say the one thing that they really don't show, I think, in a lot of the videos and pictures that we're seeing here, but there's a lot of video screens around the whole entire room. And he has some physical props there. And when he interacts with the physical props, it seems like it's interacting with the digital screen, the cartoon in the background, which is kind of cool. He himself looks better in person than he does in the photos and the videos I've seen.
God, I hope so.
He tries
for
to
his
come
mother's
across
sake.
Well, he tries to come across as funny, but most people were not really interacting with him or trying to. I did and said, "Hey, have you seen a platypus?" He's like, "A platypus," But he really didn't. Like, he was trying to say things and keep himself busy and interact with people, but people just weren't really interacting with him. That was the problem with Dr. Doof. And again, being in that room, I'm like, "Oh, this is really cool. I like how they set it up. It's really nice. It's a really cool area." Just the character didn't come across. And that's one, unfortunately, I think they could probably lose in the future. The other one, it's interesting. I really like Hades. I think the guy does a good job, and I like the set up and everything. But when I was there, he didn't seem to be as funny. And even the short videos I took, and I'm going to be posting up on my YouTube channel. My daughter, she's like, Hercules is one of my favorite movies, and I love Hades, but this Hades is not. I don't know. I really don't like him. I'm like, really? I'm like, he has some funny things to say. She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, this is coming from my kid. So.
Yeah. I think Hades is a pretty good addition. I did like Cruella in that spot on prior years. So, getting Hades in there, I get it. I understand. But that was always a feature there, at least for me. But did you hear, Bob, that Judge Doom actually isn't doing the dip thing anymore?
He's not. You can see it on my site, on my live stream, and I was disappointed. I was like, wait. In fact, when I walked up, I was really kind of shocked this year because the event sold out, and to me, we got through the lines pretty quickly for the villains. And when I went over to Judge Doom, he was not like, there was hardly any line for him, and I'm like, what's going on? Also, it seemed like maybe it was a new scare actor there, but regardless, he was sitting there and he wasn't saying or doing anything, and I was like, really? Are you going to do something? And finally, people started interacting with him, and he interacted with them as well. And I think the second time I saw him, I said, are you going to do a shave and a haircut trying to find Roger Rabbit? And he finally did, and it was cool. But when it came to the actual dip, he's got the shoe that he was dipping before, but instead of dipping it, the shoe is in a cage above the dip, about ready to be dipped, and he talks about the dip, and you're like, oh, come on, this was so cool last year when you dipped the shoe and everything. And it was, I don't know if people complained or whatnot, but that was really kind of cool. And he doesn't do a whole lot of interaction like he did last year. So it is disappointing because I thought his character was.
It looked like it was the same guy. I mean, the same real guy as before, or was it somebody new?
You know what? I couldn't really tell because he didn't.
I know it's hard to tell, but
he didn't interact as much. Like Sid, there's 2 new kids playing Sid this year, and they were not the same as the ones last year. So it could have been a new guy. Ernesto de la Cruz, he was great. He's the same guy from last year, one of the scare actors. But yeah, I would say that the two that were the most disappointing for me were Dr. Doof and Agatha. Oh my gosh, she was terrible.
Yeah,
but then again, we got a new show starting. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll talk about that show, but a little bit later on in the program. That was a highlight from our live stream on That Park Place Podcasts online, where the full stream can be found at the link in the description. But what about you? What were your thoughts on this particular story? Please let us know in the comments below. Like this video if you did like this video. Share us out, as it helps us out tremendously against the YouTube algorithm. And thank you so much for watching. T3, BO. Please comment, like, and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe to That Park Place Podcasts online, your source for exclusive content and highlights from WDW Pro, The Pro Show, and That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.